Thank you, Joe, and good afternoon, councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful spring day, and it's a great opportunity to showcase again lovely Leitrim and to showcase what is going to be a very exciting project for the region. We're here to celebrate what is a good news story, and in these times of challenge and uncertainty, it's brilliant that we're here today to look at something in terms of harnessing creativity. I come from an organisation called ICBAN, and it stands for Irish Central Border Area Network. We're a lead partner, and I'll explain more on that role in a moment. But ICBAN is a cross-border organisation that is led by 10 councils, 5 from each side of the border. So we've got Donegal, Sligo, Leitrim, Cavan and Monaghan, and then Cookstown, Dungannon, Armagh, Omagh and Fermanagh. And the area that we work in here is what we know as the Central Border Region. And that's the border region, the middle bit, if you like, between the east side and the northwest side. Our role as a lead partner, in a sense, is to bring together a partnership of efforts. And I just want to talk for a couple of minutes just on that and 2 other key features of this project. The cross-border aspect, the regional aspect, and also partnership and the importance of that. Cross-border, and we have to face up to it that without cross-border funding we wouldn't be here to celebrate the launch of Harnessing Creativity. The EU was created very much to break down animosities and barriers and feuds between member states. And Interreg is one of the tools that the EU has had to be able to support cross-border efforts and the breaking down of cross-border barriers. Interreg being short for interregional. And the challenge that we have, of course, is the border on this island between Ireland and between Northern Ireland. And what the border does is it really creates 2 different sets of thinking, 2 different sets of priorities, 2 different admin systems, essentially 2 different cultures and ways of doing things. And when it comes to when our partners sit down and develop a project, it needs 2 different governments to support it and agree with European funding that Harnessing Creativity and other projects will get the go-ahead. One of the other border challenges, of course, the borders in our mindsets. But we're here today in virtue of the fact that those borders and the borders of the mindsets, etc., are being broken down through the efforts of the partners that you hear mentioned here today in this project. Regional, and to get funding from the likes of Interreg, the challenge has been to think regionally. It's about thinking creatively about how to come together and develop a solution to the challenge of reinvigorating the creative economy of this region. That's challenged our partners and others to think outside of the box, often beyond just local interests, to see what can be achieved through a greater collective, a regional collective. And Harnessing Creativity is one project of 8 that ICBAN is delighted to be associated with, bringing down some almost through direct and match funding, some €14.5 million into this region. What we'll see is the expansion of Enniskillen Airport for aircraft maintenance, the provision of training through a project known as Hatch for the construction industry, the foreign national workforce and female entrepreneurs. The Innovation Enterprise Programme, of course, very local here to Leitrim and is featured in your packs, will see the construction and development of 2 innovation hubs from within Carrick and also in the partner area of Omagh. The Border Uplands project, which is building on the success of the Marble Arch Caves and creating the world's first cross-border geopark. And that new development will see creation of much needed outdoor access, recreational and community infrastructure in the scenic areas here of Sligo, Cavan and of course Fermanagh. And led by ICBAN then also a spatial planning initiative to take the development of this region to another level. So Harnessing Creativity fits well among the suite of projects with some 14.5 million that will bring about much needed redevelopment in this region. A total of, in all of those projects, 120 jobs very much needed at this time. That includes part-time and temporary contracts. You'll see all of these projects, including this, training and educating of 313 people in order to make them more employable. And the development of 5 large capital builds to the region, creating construction jobs, but of course also a lasting legacy for the area. For our work in the Central Border Area Network, we're committed to helping rebuild confidences through focusing on the future of the region. We want to make this region a place where businesses will choose to operate in, and a place where people will choose to live in and will come back to. And so we're driving the development of a new strategy and a new vision for this region for the future that we hope will generate more jobs and more investments. In the work of our organisation, we've levered some €50 million since 1995. That's a small drop in terms of what is really needed to help this region become more competitive and play a central role in the island. And over the next couple of weeks, we hope to launch a strategy and a vision which has been the result of about a year, 18 months consultation. What we see within that is coming through themes such as the need to develop a smart and internationally competitive economy. The creative industries have a vital role in that regard to play. And what we will do is we will invite you to follow our website at ICBAN.com and to feed into that consultation, because, as Lorraine says, there is more funding coming down from Europe. But we also need to, from a regional perspective, tap into more funding, more opportunities, and to lobby stronger with Belfast and with Dublin in terms of how we take this region forward, in terms of programmes, initiatives, infrastructure and general support for the economy. So please do, we would invite you and welcome your input into that. And just finally, just the third aspect to touch on is the importance of partnership. Projects like this don't happen overnight. A lot of work goes into developing a launch here today. This is very much the end of one stage of a process of project development, but very much the start of another stage, which is the rollout of this project. To date and ongoing, it will need the active input of a number of key players. I'd like to acknowledge the role of SEUPD, the Special European Programmes Body, for working with the two governments of the EU to bring down this funding. Their job is to challenge us to meet the targets and to ensure that we will spend all of the monies and will not have to return any of it to Europe. Also acknowledge our own staff in ICBAN to bring an expertise in managing EU programmes and help deal with a lot of the admin and the regulations that's involved, and also in leading the other partners. And also to acknowledge within ICBAN the key role and a quiet role which the elected representatives of each of those 10 council areas play, and in their civic capacities in terms of breaking down these barriers, breaking down these borders, and being able to bring partnership together between Leitrim, Donegal, Tyrone, and Fermanagh and the surrounding areas. And just to acknowledge Councillor Traynor from Monaghan, our Vice Chair, Councillor Bennett from Cavan, Councillor McDermott, of course, here locally in Leitrim, and Councillor Mulligan from Dungannon. It's testament to the fact that they're from all of these areas, which indicates the commitment that there is to developing a region on a regional basis. And also our delivery partners, led of course by Leitrim County Enterprise Board with Leitrim County Council, Leitrim Design House, Home Enterprise Company, Fermanagh District Council, and the Tyrone Donegal Partnership. They have a key role to play. They're the people who develop the programme, and they're the people who will be responsible for delivering it and for enthusing the participation of people and businesses from the creative industries background. But ultimately, it's participating individuals and businesses from the creative industries who will be key to the success of this project. They're key to the economic well-being and future well-being of this region. And indeed, the industries in the 21st century are going to depend increasingly on the generation of knowledge through creativity and innovation. We very much look forward to building on what we've developed in this region, building on your efforts and the efforts of others that will be involved in this, and taking the creative industries forward and to making this region smarter and more internationally competitive than it has been. Because often during recession, real opportunities will come up, and I'm sure that a lot of opportunities will be grasped through the efforts of many of you and others in the coming months and years. And just finally, just to acknowledge that Joe and his team very much embody the spirit of never let up and never give up. It's difficult to get programmes supported. It's difficult to get the support of two governments and the EU all at once. But it's their commitment to the project and the vision that these people have had that has taken this project to the stage that it is today. And we very much, in that regard, recall the words of Henry Ford, car maker, who, when he said this, it very much raised the spirit of cross-border regional cooperation and partnership. When he said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, but working together is success. And at that, I'd like to just finally say again, well done to all involved. and I would like to wish you all the very best in the implementation of Parents and Creativity. Thank you.